Hey everybody, it's Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous fall day out here. And so Toby's right down there. Toby and I were just sitting outside enjoying some fresh air because before too long, we're going to be in the house. But I wanted to share with you this concept that prevents a lot of people from moving forward in their business. And it's kind of this, I described it down in Nashville. I did a keynote for about 225 doctors, which was a great joy. It was a whole lot of fun. We had a lot of, by the way, Stephanie and I went and we bought cowboy boots, which I'll put those on and show them to you one time. But hey, when in Rome, right? Anyway, so I got talking about how to create a successful business, and then there was a certain part of the talk where I wanted to talk about what are some of the things that are impediments or roadblocks to building a successful business. And one of them, I said, there is a kind of an invisible force that kind of permeates. And in fact, this is the enemy of growth, is how I described it. And it's the enemy of growth is this, it's everywhere. And it can be there every day, and it takes sometimes kind of an insidious form. And it's called resistance. Now, resistance can come in a lot of different forms. It can come from a simple comment that somebody makes to you. It could be somebody close to you, a spouse or a family member. It could be somebody that you work with, a coach. It could be anybody that, Toby, get back here. Sorry about that. Toby was at the pound while Steph and I were away, and he's just enjoying our backyard, but whew, back on track. Okay, so anyway, resistance is an insidious force, and it can come in the form of a comment, but it basically prevents you from moving forward. Now, what happens is it makes you question yourself. That may be one form of resistance. Another form of resistance is something that keeps you from moving forward in the steps that you need to take. I want to give you a quick example in my own life. So I love being an author. I love speaking from the stage as an author. I love the kind of the positioning, all the things that go with being an author. But I hate writing books. And you know why? Because I have to sit down for an extended period of time, and I have to concentrate on one thing and do one thing. And my mind tends to go from place to place to place. And so it's hard for me to do that, to sometimes sit still for that period of time. So everything in my workday, by the way, is scheduled. No incoming calls, no outgoing calls that aren't pre-scheduled. But in between all those calls, and on Mondays and Fridays when I don't take calls, I will actually schedule chunks of work time. So I'll actually say, okay, 8 a.m. you're going to write a chapter for your book. And here's what happens. So, you know, I have a great home office. I love not having to commute anywhere. But here's what happens. I say, okay, it's 8 o'clock. I look at my calendar. I've got to spend the next hour writing my book. And I'll say, you know what I'm going to do? I don't know if I checked the mail yesterday. I'm going to go check the mail, and I'll go out and I'll check the mail. And on the way to the mailbox, I noticed that a bird crapped on my car. So I go inside and I get the Windex and paper towel and I clean that crap off my car. And I go get the mail and I come back in. I go, I wonder if there's any laundry. You know, I could just put in a load of laundry. And, well, as long as I'm going to be sitting at my desk for an hour, let it cycle through. Oh goodness, there's a few dishes in the sink. Let me put those away. And all those things, I'm doing everything I can do to not sit there for an hour and actually grind out the hard work of writing a book. And that is just one form of resistance. Now, resistance, as I said, is the enemy of growth in your business. So what you want to do is use the antidote. There's an antidote to resistance, and it's called action. It's called being in action. And so whatever degree you can create these action steps and get you moving forward. What I figured out a long time ago, sorry, I'm just checking Topster. What I figured out a long time ago is that I can't sit down and write for 4 hours, so I can barely sit down and write for an hour. Sometimes what I'll do is, okay, I just don't have the mindset right now to crank out a whole hour, but I will. Maybe I can write the table of contents. Maybe I can write the first line of each chapter, because that'll help get the thought process going. Sometimes I'll write the bullet points at the end of the chapters. If you've read my books, you know I'll always like to give some bullets about what you've just learned. I will do anything, because it's kind of like going on a diet. Sometimes, have you ever done this? You go on a diet, you start working out, you start exercising, maybe lessening your caloric intake, so to speak. A week later, you get on the scale, and doggone, if it not only didn't move, it went up a half a pound, and you're like, crap, I hate that, right? So that's resistance. So what you want to do is you got to get these things in place that are going to create these little successes. So eventually, probably even the next day, you'll get on the scale and you'll drop a quarter pound, a half pound. You go, yay! You're about ready to go do the run up the Rocky steps at the art museum. But basically, once that gives you a little bit of either marketing muscles or gives you some kind of a little internal fortitude, so to speak, to keep you going. So once I start writing my book, when I write chapter 1, or sometimes I'll write the preface first, sometimes I'll come back to that last, I'll write some of the back pages that I know are going to be in there, and I start cranking out, I get excited. So I get a little bit done, and then more done. And then as I keep proofreading it, I get really jazzed up and I get it done. But there is a huge amount of resistance when I have these major problems, or tasks, not a problem, sorry. All right, so if you're finding that you're not growing your business quick enough, if you're not getting your goals done and your dreams, chunk them down into bite-sized chunks. Don't try and eat the elephant all at one time. Just do it in bite-sized chunks. Elephant, who the heck eats elephants? All right, don't sit down and eat whatever you're going to eat. All right, so you want to consume bite-sized chunks, schedule it out so you're very, very committed to the schedule, and then do anything you can to create these little successes. Little successes will breed bigger successes, and that being an action is the antidote to resistance. Not too bad for being away for a whole weekend. And I'm about to go get the Tobster in a minute because he's way back there. So anyway, this is Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru. I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. And I just realized I'm getting ready to sign out and I didn't do my whole thing. And I think that does it. All right. This is Jim Palmer, the host of Newsletter Guru TV, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. And I will see you for another great episode, another great video next week. You take good care.